And I think in the presence of a lie, because of the nature of the human soul, we are weakened by a lie. And I know Michael Tessarian, he talks about developing a zero tolerance, for the lie. Now, this is something that might seem extreme, but until we as a human population, Keith, really seek to know truth, well, then government's going to lie to us. Well, the people don't care. Religion's going to lie to us. Politicians are going to lie to us. Economists are going to lie to us. No. We need to learn to listen to our compass. Look at our compass. Listen to our heart. It will tell us. There will be a strengthening and an empowering when we're in the presence of truth. And I know you've experienced that, Keith. I've experienced that. A child will show you that. And I think if we can learn to read the sign, I think it was the prophet Isaiah said, you'll hear a voice behind you saying, this is the way, walk you in it. Jesus said, I'm going to give you the spirit of truth. He'll show you things to come. And I love where James says, if any man lack wisdom, ask of God that gives to all men freely and upbraids not. He's not going to scold you for wanting more wisdom, and more wisdom will be given. And Keith, as you and I know, and many of the listeners know, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And the teacher may come in many different forms. Maybe a child. I grabbed something on a radio show, and it was not even a person I particularly like to listen to, but they said something, Keith, that went right to my heart, and it was something I needed to hear. I really think our antenna need to be up constantly, and we need to be open to what people are saying, what the children are saying. I've learned through animals, nature. It's just so exciting, Keith, to see God in all. Theism says God's up there somewhere. Atheism said, well, God's nowhere. Pantheism said God's everywhere, and he's right here. And that's what I get off on right there, is knowing that the divine is in all, of all, through all. I mean, even the Christian New Testament says, by him all things consist. Without him, nothing's made that was made. It says, in the beginning was the Word. All of these things.
If you think about it, is it possible that truly one way of a step that has to be taken to unification of the divine is to not label yourself as anything? Because the very fact, as you're labeling, on some level you choose a division from from the divine source, which is non-divisive. It's everywhere, everything, all the time. It's not labeled or categorized by anything.
Absolutely. And there again, Keith, is where you say this energy is not good or bad. It may not be compatible with where I'm at or where I'm going.
Right.
But I'm not going to say it's bad, because you'll see someone in that energy. I put up a thing on Facebook, Keith, a picture with my dad's bird dog. And I said, well, my Christian friends say Jesus is the reason for the season. And I said, my pagan friends, they say solstice is the reason for the season. And I said, my party friends, they say partying is the reason for the season. And then I go on and on, my capitalist friends, they say consumerism is the reason for the season. And it goes on. And I said, I kind of like all my friends. And, we go back to the blind men feeling of the elephant, and one guy's got the tail. He thinks the elephant is a rope. The other guy has a foot. He thinks the elephant's a tree. The other guy's touching a wall. He thinks the elephant is a brick wall. The other guy has the trunk. He thinks the elephant's a serpent. Well, guess what, Keith? They're all right and they're all wrong. The elephant is all of those things composite into one. Wow, what a simple, profound.
And it's amazing, Steve, these very simple ideas that you have been throwing out since the show started. Simple in their form, they are laced and latent with a lot of information. But it's a very simple shift that has to occur inside someone. It's not a monumental thing that you have to do. It's more of a not doing. And those simple shifts, like the the analogy you just made of the elephant, and the one I made before, and the one you've been making, like the ones you've been making all night. It's very powerful how just changing certain little ideas about yourself in these ways, the magic and the release it can have in your life.
Oh, absolutely, Keith. I'm floored with the potential for the ripples that we can create by tossing a little pebble. And this is really what's so exciting about awakening, Keith. It's not that I have to go out with a placard and beat people over the head, but by my own awakening, there is, I believe, Keith, a contribution to the collective energy. And that people, you know, we all know about the 100th monkey and the exponential curve. I've even heard Greg Braden speak about the square root of 1% of the population of a city. That's all that's required in order to affect a more peaceful, unified state of being in that city. If you've got the square root of 1% who meditate and speak peace, and now is that awesome, Keith, that if we just awaken, and this is my challenge to myself, you know, I'm a guy, I heard one fellow, he said, I'm not awake, but at least I know I'm not. And he said, I'm trying to get out of bed. And, you know, it really doesn't matter. I think anyone of a true benevolent spirit, they're not going to discourage you or tell you, you know, what a loser you are. Man, you don't know about that yet. Even with the internet and knowledge screaming in your ears, Proverbs says wisdom cries in the streets, and that was before the internet, Keith. But now we have,
right.
There's so much access, and you can just let your heart go. And I think that's the key, is let your heart go. Don't be afraid to explore. No one, we have this imagined fear of some Goliath that's going to clobber us if we even think a little bit out of the expected box that we're in. We've got to let that go so we can awaken, Keith, like you're talking, and it affects people. They just kind of see that we don't jump on the bandwagons when society wants to rattle the sabers and get up a big angry war against someone. We just don't jump on board that, and we realize.
Steve, if you look in a dictionary, people in certain denominations and certain ways of viewing things, they would look at people that are called spiritual, New Age, metaphysical, whatever term, and they immediately cough up the answer, cult. Well, if they would look in the dictionary, the word cult, culture, if you look up culture in the dictionary, if you follow a culture, a way of doing things, one culture, the definition is following one way of thought. It's the same definition as cult. So actually, they're looking in the mirror. So my question to you, Steve, is being a speaker since you were 5 years old, man, in all your research, all your travels, do you think that we need to create this world to be peaceful, or do you think that reality is here now and we need to awaken to be able to see what's right under our own nose?
It does seem to lean to the latter, doesn't it, Keith? That it's here. People know it. There seems to be controlling forces that are holding on to old ways of doing things and insisting and using these polarities and differences. And, they've written books about it. You can read Machiavelli. You can read military manuals on how to divide and conquer. My gosh, this has been studied by empires for ages, and they're good at it, Keith. They're skillful at it. And this is what we really want people to wake up to so that they don't just become sheeple, and sort of led along by popular media and really buy into what's being sold. This is just a joke in the inner circles, that they know how to sell things, and they know how to spin it, and they know how to make the emotions of a population. And my gosh, if a stage illusionist, can make you think you're seeing something that isn't there. You can only imagine the power moguls that run the media.
Yeah.
They can just pull rabbits out of the hat, Keith, and everybody's just in awe. And we've got to learn. I'll tell you, years ago, Terry Cole Whitaker, a great teacher, she taught me something about learning to trust your own guidance system. Learning to trust your own guidance system, your own observation, your own experience, and your own intuition. I think we've been very expert